Hi everyone, I'm Charlotte from Lavender Healthcare and I'm an osteopath and a clinical Pilates instructor. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about how to set up your desk from home and how you can keep yourself healthy in this work from home period we're unfortunately in. So the ideal situation would be for you to set up a desk at home that you would almost like you would have at work. So the ideal position, really, you want to be able to have your feet onto the floor with your knees at 90 degrees, a chair that has your spine nice and supportive, ideally with a headrest, with your forearms being able to rest onto the desk with your elbows at 90 degrees. Ideally, your eye line should be looking at the top of the screen so that you're not sort of looking down all day. Obviously, this is the ideal situation. So if you have a desk at home, this is the best thing that you can do. Just set yourself up as you normally would at work with all those things. If you don't have a desk, other things that you could use a dining table to give yourself the same sort of setup. Obviously, this isn't height adjustable, so you're going to have to play around with sort of chair heights and other bits and bobs to get yourself nice and comfy. If you haven't got that available, the other best thing that you can use is an ironing board. So it sounds a bit of a bizarre one. Ironing boards are height adjustable. So obviously you can either do it standing or sitting. You can change your mind halfway through the day. If you're fed up with sitting, you could change the ironing board height to high and have a standing desk for about an hour just to get those muscles activated again. If you're working with a laptop, the best thing that you can do is either to get a different screen, if you've got another computer screen, or like a TV screen, so you can use that as a second monitor. You can then have your laptop onto the desk and use that as your keyboard, and then have your second screen or your TV screen as the higher, and the top of that screen should be at eye level. What that's going to do is if you're sitting at a laptop all day, you're going to end up in this position. So you're going to be hunched shoulders, looking down, you're going to end up with neck pain, upper back pain and headaches very quickly. So we want to reduce that chance as much as we possibly can. So that's one option, is to have the second screen. The other option you could do is to get a second keyboard. Now they're not particularly expensive, to just get one that you can plug into your laptop. What you then do is lift the height of the laptop, so you're popping it on some books or something like that, so that the screen's at the right height, the top of the screen being at eye level, and then have your second keyboard resting on, so you can use that as your second keyboard instead. So they're sort of the ideal options. What you really want to avoid doing is sitting at a sofa. If you sit on your sofa, you've got no support whatsoever for your spine. You're going to end up sitting in some bizarre positions, slouched back, knees curled up, all these sorts of things that are going to end up giving you hip pain, lower back pain, neck pain. You're going to get them very quickly within a couple of days to a week. We may well be like this for a good couple of weeks, so do look after yourselves. The other thing that you want to avoid is sitting on your bed or laying on your bed or any of those sorts of positions. It's that same thing. You're not in a good posture at all. You're not in a good position. So make sure you're not doing those things. You're going to get back pain pretty quickly. So just making sure you're sat up as much as you can, right posture, right position. The other thing that's worth considering is getting a mouse that you can plug into a laptop if you're working from a laptop. That's going to really help your shoulder position. And if you're constantly over here all day, you're going to end up with repetitive strain on the arm, whereas when you're out, you're protecting yourself a lot more. Again, they're not particularly expensive to buy on somewhere like Amazon, but it would make quite a big difference to your shoulder health. With a chair, ideally you want something comfortable but supportive. So sitting on a wooden chair all day is not going to be great. So cushions if you need to on a dining chair. But equally, sitting on a sofa, there's no support at all, so that's not going to do any favours either. So ideally a desk chair would be great, but if you haven't got one or don't want to buy one, then something like a dining chair table would be really good, and just get the cushions in to help, or something like a stool. If you haven't got anything like that and don't want to get anything, the other thing that you can use is a big Swiss ball, an exercise ball. Now these are really good for working your balance and your core while you're working, and I often advise my back pain patients to have these anyway. So these are really good. You're just going to have a lower desk, and everything then is going to have to come lower. But it's really going to make your muscles work a little bit more, which is great because we're all going to be less active during this period. But it's just going to be a nice alternative if you haven't got a decent chair. Again, not expensive to buy on somewhere like Amazon if you haven't got one already, but they're a good thing to do. So the things that we're trying to avoid here, obviously, are your neck pains and your lower back pains. I have written a blog this week, so it's on lavenderhealthcare.co.uk. It's got a nice picture of how your desk should be set up. So do have a look on that. It's got all those same tips and a nice diagram to show how you should be set up. And I'll pop all these alternatives on there as well. There will always be something you can do in your home. If you're unsure about any of these or really don't have any of those options, do give me a shout. There'll be something we can come up with to make yourself nice and comfortable. Whilst you are at home, you really want to be making sure you're staying nice and active, and the exercise is there. So there's lots of things you can do, but particularly if you're working from home, you want to be focusing that you're moving every 20 minutes. So in the ideal world, every 20 minutes you'd stand up, do some shoulder rolls just to get everything moving, reset the posture, relax all the muscles into the upper back and into the neck, and just reset before you then get going again. So 20 minutes to half an hour if you can. Pop a reminder on your phone or a little post-it note, something like that, just to keep yourself moving. Once an hour, if you could actually get up, go and make yourself a drink, move around, something like that. When you're sat down, all the muscles that aren't working just switch off. So you're going to become quite inactive quite quickly, and that's what's going to lead to back pain, neck pain, joint problems and muscle pain. Walk around if you're on the phone and you don't need to be near the laptop or near your notepad, just have a little wander around the room. Again, it's just getting those muscles working again, getting those joints to release. If you are feeling fit and healthy and you're not having any problems with this virus, ideally aim to be exercising every day. So when you are working from home, generally you're going to be less active because you're not walking to the car, you're not walking to the office, all those sorts of things. So if you can be exercising every day, that would be brilliant. Things that you can do, go out for a walk, obviously that's going to get you outside, a bit of fresh air, which is going to make you feel better anyway. If you run, running's brilliant to clear the mind. If you're already running, keep up with your running training as much as possible. The current advice is that it's fine for you to go outside to exercise, just obviously don't come into contact with people, try not to touch things, all the usual advice. If you're not into running currently, but would like to get into running, the NHS Couch to 5K programme is brilliant. It runs over a 9-week programme. You can do this on your own. You just go onto the Couch to 5K NHS website, and it gives you a week-by-week guide of what you should be doing. So you start off run, walk, and by the end of the 9 weeks, you should be able to run a 5K or 3 miles without stopping, which is a brilliant achievement and something to really focus on over the next couple of weeks. It's going to keep the body nice and supple. It's going to keep your mind at rest as well. So it's going to be a really nice one for you. If you're concerned that you're not ready to go into running or fit and healthy enough, do give us a chat. We are currently still working, but that may change very soon. But we're keeping up to date with the government advice. But even when we're not allowed to do hands-on therapy, we will still be doing video consultations. So if you want to get in touch with us and just talk through any injuries, any issues, absolutely fine, and we can guide you onto what exercise would be the best for you. Pilates is another really great exercise. It's great for strengthening all the muscles everywhere, but particularly the core and the pelvis and the upper back. Particularly if you sit at a desk, this is really great exercise for you. It involves a lot of strengthening and a lot of stretching to keep you in really great shape. So I'm running online classes 7:30 every Wednesday for the moment. These are on Zoom, so if you'd like to join in, let me know and I'll get the link out to you. I'll also be doing a lot more sort of in the day for those who are self-isolating as well. Yoga is another lovely exercise to be doing. Again, great for stretching you out and keeping your posture as good as it possibly can be. Yoga by Adrienne does amazing videos on YouTube, so check her out if you'd like to get into your yoga. She does a nice variety and they're really good fun. The other yoga tool that's wonderful is the Down Dog app. It's about £7 for the whole year, so it's not particularly expensive, but it's a really great app that you can have on sort of your phone or your tablet. You put in what sort of mode you want to do, whether you're a beginner or advanced. You can choose the number of minutes you want to do it for, and it'll guide you through as if you was in a class. So you have an instructor who's demonstrating all the movements. She talks you through it, and it's a really lovely way to do yoga quite safely with sort of being able to follow the instructions. Again, yoga is a really great exercise mentally as well, so you'll get the great physical benefits, but mentally it's a lovely one for relaxation and calming during this quite stressful and anxious time. If you currently belong to a gym and can't get to the gym or don't want to be going to the gym right now, check what your gym is offering. A lot of gyms are now sending out home workouts that you can do. So my gym, Avenue Tennis, is sending out in the next week. They're sending out lots of online programs that you can do an hour workout from home. I think we're getting about 30, so do check out what your gym's offering. There's going to be lots of tools coming your way that you can get involved in. Joe Wicks, the body coach, has got some amazing videos. So HIIT videos are fabulous. He also does workouts for kids. The thing that he started doing this week, if you've got children at home, it's fantastic, is he's starting PE with Joe. This is running at 9 o'clock every morning on his YouTube channel. He's going live and he's doing a half an hour workout session for children because obviously they're not getting the activity that they would usually get. They're not having PE at school because of all the schools are shutting. So that's a really good one to get your children involved in, and get involved as well. It's a lovely bit of activity. So that's PE with Joe, 30 minutes Mondays to Fridays at 9 o'clock. If the weather is good, which today's not too bad, why not try and do your exercise outside is the other thing. So if you're going to do a yoga session or a Pilates session, take your mat, chuck it on the grass in the garden and enjoy a bit of fresh air. We're all going to feel very cooped up. So the more fresh air and a bit of outdoor sort of activity you can do, the better really. Even if you don't want to leave your home and you've got a garden at home, you might as well make the most of that and do some exercise from there. Like I said, be careful if you're starting any new exercise. Please don't overdo it. Ease yourselves in gently, but do try and keep yourselves active. And if you've got any concerns about injuries or current problems, do get in touch with us. We'll be doing video consultations for those that don't want hands-on contact, and for when we're not allowed to do that as well. So do let us know if you've got any queries or any other questions regarding this.
So where can they find you is the first question. So on social media, what are you?
Lavender Healthcare. So we're lavenderhealthcare.co.uk is the website, which has all the current blogs on with lots of different advice and Pilates videos. My YouTube channel is also at lavender.healthcare.
And we do have some questions. Firstly, quite a lot of people like the ironing board idea. There's quite a few people that seem to be taking
I always advise at Christmas to do your Christmas wrapping on an ironing board. So it's the same sort of principle, because it's height adjustable and it's going to stop you stooping over. So yeah, it's always good.
Yeah.
Good tip.
If anyone does have any more questions as well on Facebook or on Zoom, please do go ahead and ask. We do have one from Chris Wilmot is asking, do you recommend using footstools or do they cause more problems than they solve?
So the ideal recommendation is that you're sitting at your desk, your knees are 90 degrees and your feet are placed firmly on the floor. So if your feet cannot touch the floor and your desk won't change so you can't lower it down to be on the floor, then yes, a footstool is a great thing. You're better off having the knees at 90 and everything else set up correctly and having a footstool than having to change everything else. So yeah, no, footstools are great if needed. Obviously you don't want one that raises you too high.
I've got a personal question that I think Chris probably won't know the answer to as well. As a tall man, I often struggle with table heights.
Yep.
What are good options to use to raise your screen level up? What things can you use around the house that you want to have?
Yeah.
Is there things you've got that would be good?
Books are always great. So particularly at our house, obviously me and Joe are different heights. We tend to use Guinness World Records. So we can just I take 2 out, Joe takes 2 on. So that's a really nice one to be able to use because they're so easily adjustable then. Everyone's got some books around the house. But equally, Tupperware pots, if you've got a strong pot, anything like that, anything that can raise it up and sort of change the height, it's great.
Yeah, just looking through to see what other people said.
Yeah, Chris has just said about shares his desk with his wife.
Yeah.
So actually, I think some of them things are examples good for the ability to change and offer different things. Yeah, because we need to be adaptable at the moment. You know, we're all probably, this isn't ideal. No one's going to have 2 perfect desks set up next to each other. So yeah, things like that you can just take and add on are perfect, so you can best both worlds. So we've got one from Alison, which is not necessarily Pilates related, but it says if you're unwell, you shouldn't go out. That's correct, isn't it?
Absolutely. That is the exact advice at the moment. Is if you have any symptoms, to not leave your house. So obviously, still try and exercise if you feel well enough. If you're not feeling well, exercise isn't going to be on the agenda anyway. But if you feel healthy enough, you should be exercising. 1, it's going to keep any sort of illnesses at bay, but 2, you're just going to feel better for it anyway.
I think just to add to that as well, self-isolation means keeping away from people, not necessarily sticking into your house. So that's what it's like going out into your garden, absolutely fine.
Absolutely fine. Walks are absolutely fine. Taking your dog out for a walk, running, they're all, the government advice is saying they're all absolutely fine and in fact are encouraged. So please don't be scared that you have to stay in your bedroom for the next few weeks.
And I read something, this might be incorrect. Correct me in the chat if I've got it wrong, but National Trust are opening all of their centres for free.
That's absolutely true.
Chris posted something this morning because they added an additional bit to that as well. There was they announced that everyone could come, and I think they announced then that they weren't going to be open straight afterwards.
Oh, okay.
So Chris mentioned something about it earlier. Hopefully Chris is going to reply to this in the chat. But yeah, that was definitely the case about a week ago. I think now it's changed already.
Right.
So there you go. Chris is going to give me the actual email. Yeah, if we share it in the chat, then we can read it out. That'd be good. There's a question come through,
Yeah, so the other question is, what degree should your mouse arm be and desk height?
So your forearm should rest on the desk parallel to your knees. Sorry. So your elbow should be at 90 degrees with the shoulder relaxed. So everything should.
Just tip that a bit because you're.
Oh, sorry, I can't see that.
If I can. Well, that's not working. There you go.
Lovely. So the elbow should be at 90 degrees with the forearm resting on. Shoulder should be nice and relaxed. So you should just be able to rest your forearms onto the desk, typing away. Obviously, if you're too high, you're going to put a lot of strain onto the wrists when you're using your mouse or when you're using your keyboard. You're going to end up with RSI or carpal tunnel pretty quick. Equally, if you're low down, that's not great either. So yeah, just try and make sure that everything's level and the wrist is straight.
Just waiting on Chris to get back.
Yeah, I think I've got a question for you as well. So some of the mouse mats you get, they come with like a support bar.
Yeah.
Are you good to have, or?
Yeah, they're actually really useful. So some things seem like a gimmick, but actually they're really useful, particularly if you suffer from things like carpal tunnel or repetitive strain. They are quite good to do. I'd always advise first though changing up your desk setup. 99% of the times it's because something's set up wrong that you're getting that in the first place. Most people don't need them, so do always check that you're set up first before you go down that road. But yeah, they're great to use.
The other thing for me as well is I think a lot of people are going to be going home and using their laptop.
Yep.
Laptops obviously pose problems. So for me, I have to have a laptop up high. I couldn't type.
Yep.
So what would you recommend in those situations? Separate screen or separate keyboard?
Either one's going to work well. So it depends what you've got available to you and what funds you want to spend. So I think I'm right, guys, in thinking that keyboards are not particularly expensive to buy.
No.
So I would say if you haven't got another screen at home, just order yourself another keyboard on Amazon. I had a quick look earlier and you can get some under 20 quid. They're not a lot of money. And it's going to save you a hell of a lot of problems in the long run and a lot of pain. So it's well worth doing. If you have a second screen at home, then you might as well do that. But yeah, it depends what you've got available to you.
I've seen online as well, which might be incorrect. You know the big blow-up yoga balls?
I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, okay. So good.
They're absolutely great to use. Yeah, they're really great to use, the Swiss balls. If you have got one at home, do sit on them. We advise them anyway because they keep your back muscles working the whole time. They challenge the balance, they challenge the core. So as long as you can set everything else up to the right height around that, they're brilliant to use.
I can hear the other thing as well is people say about they want to sit cross-legged.
Yeah.
They feel comfortable sitting cross-legged.
Yeah.
Assuming that's not great for posture. So
even if you feel comfortable cross-legged, I assure you that it's not. It will not do you any favours in the long run. You're going to end up with very sore hips. You're going to end up with very tight hip flexors. So even if it feels comfortable and you can't get out of the habit, maybe do it for 20 minutes and then swap out, do something else for an hour and then come back to it. It's really not a great habit to get into.
And Chris has just come back saying that the email says many of our places are closing temporarily. So although they are giving out free stuff.
Yeah, so keep an eye on those sorts of things. If anywhere is open to go for a nice walk, fabulous. Just be very careful not to touch things, take your hand sanitizers, all the proper advice. But if you can get out in the open, please do, particularly if this weather stays nice.
I think it's worth looking on the National Trust website. I know Google Maps are doing a really big thing at the moment, a big push to try and get everybody to, if they are closed, show that they're closed online. Mm-hmm. So just check online. There's some stuff going around. Yeah. Social media is great for it too. And
Chris has just what we said, it could be that their grounds are remaining open and it's just the buildings that are closed.
Well, what I saw is that they're shutting down pretty much everything except the lands themselves. So there'll be no cafes, toilets, parking meters, etc. But you can come in. You can come in and have a walk and enjoy the fresh air. But do check that before you go anywhere, because that was a couple of days I saw that. So.
Great. So just to wrap up, if you just want to say where people can find you again at the end as well.
So come and have a look at me at lavenderhealthcare.co.uk. It's my website with my blog and links to my YouTube channel, and find me on socials at Lavender Healthcare.